apparently we're broadcasting now. So that's pretty cool. Right? Right. Well, let's see if we actually are, though. Okay, yeah, we're broadcasting. Cool. Put in the extra life link. Awesome. So let's maybe finish this today. It seems like we're drawing to a finishing here. A finishing? We're drawing to a close. I still cannot speak. Oh. Okay, maybe not. I guess we'll do Sleazy Reporter, sure. The street lights filter in the apartment in a stark white glow, as if someone were shooting a movie outside. The art pieces display a tasteful expense entirely fitting the image you have of Sophie. It feels as if 1,000 sins have been committed on these premises, most of them under her benevolent hospitality. Sophie comes to greet you as you enter the living room, shaking her head. You understand that people judge me based on how you dress, don't you? Jesus, Sophie! Sophie looks at your clothes as if resigned to your sartorial limitations. I can take care of myself. I've tried to dress inconspicuous. I've had other things to worry about, Sophie. I've had other things to worry about than shopping for clothes. Sophie walks to the window and looks out, the streetlights playing on her features. She reminds you of a queen contemplating the unfortunate limitations of her subjects. You'd think that as a vampire, at least we wouldn't have to worry about the vultures of the press. Unfortunately, when you have the power and ability, there are always parasites trying to feed on you. Is there a reporter after you? Yeah, I used to have a journalist friend. I'll go beat the bastard up. Is there a reporter after you? Yes, a terribly persistent creature. Sophie steps away from the window and settles down on a sofa, a wine glass with red liquid in it, blood treated as not to spoil. You become good at noticing the scent, even from a distance. She doesn't offer you any as you cautiously sit down across from her. This awful man has been stalking my apartment with a camera. He's gone through my trash, talked to the neighbors. Please be a dear and explain to him that there's nothing for him here. Not an errand boy. Is this about the masquerade? You're enjoying this. Is this about the masquerade? I don't want to run out of blood. That's a big deal for us, right? Indeed, you're learning. Isn't this dangerous? Isn't this unavoidable? This must happen often. How do you usually deal with it? Everyone has their own way. Sometimes the problem goes away with a bit of money or sharp words. Other times you need something more. Am I in danger? Do I get something out of this? Do you know anything about the reporter? Man, woman, young, old, anything like that. All gossip reporters look the same to me. Time for you to go. I have business to attend to. You leave the apartment as Sophie disappears into another room. You don't have a clear idea of the game she plays with the city's mortal and immortal power structures, but she always seems to be making a move. Outside on the street, there's a slight warm drizzle, the kind that gets under your clothes and makes you want to take a shower when you get back to your own haven. No reporters immediately jump out to you. Investigate the area, stay put, and keep an eye out. Used enhanced senses. We'll investigate. You start with the basics of investigative work. You ask the proprietor of the bodega around the corner, the homeless man sleeping in a nearby doorway, the doorman of another building whether they've seen anyone strange. Detective work produces results. You get the description of a man who sounds like a reporter. Older, overweight, pasty, and in bad physical condition. Professional camera. Once you know what you're looking for, it's not difficult. You spot a man who matches the description and follow him. You enter an alley, a dark, dingy space between two tall buildings. Once upon a time, a place like this might have worried you, made you think of muggings and violence. Now it's clear that the most dangerous thing here is you. The man you are following seems to realize this too. He holds his camera in front of him like a shield, its heavy objective resting on his paunch. With a start, you recognize him. Give me a second. I'm just gonna put a sweater on. It's cold today. Alright, there we go. You remember the face, the shaded sunglasses from a picture next to a byline and some trashy paper. The article was about a friend of yours, an artist who was reported to be dating a celebrity. It was true, but the celebrity didn't want to be associated with your friend and broke it off afterwards. For months, your friend cursed Doherty's name. Hey, don't go around scaring people like that. I recognize you. I'm a huge fan. Welcome to Knuckletown! Okay, I have to go with that one. Welcome to Knuckletown, fat man. Let's make this fun for at least one of us. Whoa, whoa, I'm a reporter. A lot of scoops here in this dirty alley. Where are you reporting on? So reporter home. Lost scoops here in this dirty alley. You can't be a journalist if you're not willing to get your hands dirty. Do you live here? I'm working on a story about a local resident. Her name is Sophie Langley. Everybody knows her in high society circles. From the way you look, I'm guessing you might know her too. She's a redhead, pretty as a picture. And there were a lot of pictures of her through the years. That's the thing, in fact. Look at this. Frank pulls out his phone and starts showing you pictures. Some have been downloaded from news sites, while others are photos from the society pages of newspapers from past decades. All show Sophie. She has different clothes, hairstyles, makeup, names, but the face remains the same. That's strange. So what do you think is going on? They're all hot. Other than that, I'm not sure. So you're a stalker of some sort? That's strange. So what do you think's going on? Beats me. That's why I'm here to find out. You must have a theory about what's happening. This must be important. So why does this matter? You must have a theory. I have a theory or two, but before I print my theory, I need facts to back it up. 3 words. Extreme plastic surgery. All the celebrities do it. Only your doctor's better than the rest. You look critically at the photos on Frank's phone. No doctor's that good. Hook me up with this miracle doctor. You're looking for a doctor in an alley. Hook me up. Sure, I guess. If you find who the surgeon is, let me know. I could have some work done. Sorry, I got an email. I just want to see what it is. Oh. It's just for earbuds. Never mind. You're right, it makes no sense. Damn. So how would you explain it? I know Sophie personally, ancient medicines, it's a hoax. Have you considered the possibility that those pictures are a hoax? Sure, anything can be a hoax, but I dug up those old papers from the archives myself. I gotta have something usable. Threaten Frank with legal action legal action. Frank, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you something you can work with. Take it. Frank is clearly taken aback by the change in your tone, but he's a gossip reporter. He's used to people trying to push him. Look, I'm a reporter. You can bluster, but you can't hide the truth. You made a lot of enemies. Can you afford a lawsuit? We'll put pressure on your people. Can you afford a lawsuit, my dude? I'll tell you one more thing about Sophie. She's good at suing people. Do you think you can afford a lawsuit? This job is all I have. Don't do this to me. Desist and I'll leave you alone. This is just finished. We can destroy you. Desist. It's your choice. I'm not your enemy. Desist and there won't be any trouble. Frank is taken aback at the brutality of your tone. He has been intimidated many times before, but he also knows that sometimes the threats are real. This time he senses you're not kidding. He's just an aging man trying to salvage a career. Oh no! You win. I hope you and Sophie Langley have a happy life. Deflated and hunched over, Frank drudges away from the alley. You stare at his receding figure. It's hard not to feel sorry for him. In Sophie Langley, he took on something way too powerful for a small fish like himself. Alright. I guess let's go die now. You wake up. This is not your haven. It's a cramped space. You try to move your arms and find they are tied to your body. You can barely bend your legs. When you try to stretch your neck, you hit a cold ceiling. You can't quite believe it, but this is a coffin, or something close enough to it. It vibrates slightly, but you can't hear any sounds coming from outside. It's entirely dark. Try to break out, call out, sharpen your senses. Try to break out. You kick the front of the container. The only reaction is the dull metallic sound. You try using your fist, but there's not enough room to get a good punch in. It seems pretty hopeless. Some more tries, nothing. This is bad. Suddenly, the containers move slightly. A moment of silence. An indistinct male voice shouting, a muffled shot. Silence again. The lid comes off. What the? Oh, what the fuck? Hi, Agatha! You hear, that's a relief. Oh, Hope. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us and that asshole over there. Follow us and quick. Seeing their faces is surprising, even more so in these circumstances. However, you realize the immediate danger and follow your companions out of the car and down a street in North Bronx. The van has crashed into another car, a familiar face, that of Kaiser's ghoul, Jackie. stumbles out of the wrecked sedan and slinks away into the darkness before you can call after him. The three of you jog away towards the line of trees and take shelter under some branches, just as you hear a chopper approaching. Its searchlight illuminates the wrecked van and moves towards you. What the fuck is happening? Get on the ground! Agathon takes something out of his pocket. You hear a soft breaking sound, and then he just disappears from sight. You look to Hope, but she's not there. You haven't seen any movement, just the tree she leaned against a scant few seconds ago. You're left alone with just seconds to make your move before the spotlight finds you. Hide behind the closest tree, dive under a bush, dash deeper into the park. Dive under a nearby bush. Seeing no better option, you find the nearest bush and dive right under it. It's probably not the best or smartest thing to do, but you have to trust your gut. The illumination passes only inches away from you, but it's just a pattern of light on the ground. The trees block a good portion of it. It doesn't dwell on you. It doesn't seem like they've spotted you or any of your companions. The helicopter flies on, its searchlight frantically moving through the vicinity as your companions once again appear in your proximity. We have an opening. Let's go before the SI decides they want to do another sweep. Wait, the SI care tell me it's going... What's happening? Hope, care to fill them in? Your life up to this point, everything you knew, it was highly advanced VR simulation. Welcome to the real world. Your blank stare is what makes her crack. No, actually, the SI, First Light in this case, I think, raided your haven and took you in. They were just transporting you out of town. Kaiser told us which route they take. How the SI know where I live? Kaiser organized this. What about Sophie? If they hit my haven, then what about Sophie? Is she safe? As far as I know, it's just your place that got hit, partner. Makes you wonder what's coming up next, eh? Sorry to cut in, but we better go. The limo is here. Kaiser's familiar car stops nearby, and the back door opens. Your allies usher you inside and join you. Being inside this mobile fortress never felt like a relief until now. Hey, fledgling, miss me? Yeah, actually, not really, but I'm glad to be here. Save it, what's the deal? Yeah, actually. I kind of did. Aw, that's so sweet. Hate to break it to you, but I didn't take a sudden liking to you. I'm here on business. You're here now only because I told your buddies that you were neck deep in shit. That van you were in, a one-way ticket to Hurtville, Pennsylvania. I broke you out as a favor. Now you owe me. Big. Hope snorts. What's so funny, Jester? Hurtville, Pennsylvania? What, you like it? Yeah, it's literally the funniest thing I've ever heard. Is there a Usenet where you workshop these bits with other ancient demons? Can I get in? Everyone's a critic. How did you know? Why didn't I wake up earlier? Did Sophie ask you? How did you know? How the hell did you know the SI broke into my haven and took me away? Is that piss-poor attempt at an insult, fledgling? I've kept eyes on you ever since that little job you did for me in Nolita. You know, in case I needed you for something else. I had to know your comings and goings. Guess the rumors are true. The old far is surprisingly good at keeping up with the information flow in the city, despite his age, probably in the top 3. Gee, thanks, Sugar. To be fair, you're probably in the top 10. He grins with what you assume is a lecherous smile. Hope seems only momentarily insulted by the top 10 remark. I have a good idea of why the SI hit you, Porcelain. Not that there aren't tons of good reasons for it. It might have been one of these, for instance. The screen in Kaiser's car flicker, and each of them now shows a short loop clip. It's you, getting into a fight, feeding, using one of your powers. You haven't exactly kept a low profile, fledgling. I get it, you're new to this, you didn't know better, yada yada yada. The fact is the SI has tons of this stuff. Security camera footage, YouTube videos posted by onlookers, social media posts from victims, you name it. We were pretty careful, so I don't fucking know, man. Like I said, though, I don't think any one of these did you in. Slip-ups happen. The reason I need you walking and talking, Porcelain, is to test a hypothesis of mine. For that, I need you to finish what you were tasked to do. So first things first, here. He hands you a phone. The number has already been dialed. You hear the tone. Somebody picks up. Who is this? It's me, Sophie Kaiser. What the hell? Remain silent. It's me, Sophie. Porcelain, are you okay? They're fine and dandy. Kaiser, what are you doing on this line? What do you think? It's my phone and your protege is using, so keep it snappy. Operating a secure network ain't cheap. Come on, Porcelain, spit it out. Kaiser saved me from the SI. My friend saved me from the SI. I got captured by the SI. Listen, I got captured by the Second Inquisition, but I'm fine now. SI? That's what I feared. Listen, the plan. We need to do it. Tonight. But if the Inquisition is involved and you broke out, they'll be looking for you, so we can't meet in public. I have a place in mind, but... Kaiser, are you still listening? Would I tell you if I wasn't? Porcelain, call this number from... where you visited before last we spoke. I'll come pick you up. I don't remember, so hopefully the game does. She hangs up. And that's that. Well, Porcelain, care to elaborate? No need to answer that riddle. I think I've almost arrived at the answer. Sorry I spoiled the fun, but I'll answer that particular riddle momentarily. Don't worry, doll, I can throw a few other ones your way after our mutual acquaintance continues with their night. If my intel is worth a damn, your next stop, Porcelain, is right about here. The car comes to a stop and the door opens. Outside you see the street leading to Solids and Stripes, Torque's pool pub. Well, you need me to kick you out? How the fuck do you know about this place? What about my companions? What if I don't want to do? What about my companions? What about Eggpon and Hope? What about them? They're staying right where they are and we're going to have a little chat. After we're done, I'm sure they'll find their way back to their havens just fine. The clock is ticking. I think I know what Sophie wants to do tonight, and if I'm right, tonight's the last chance you got. I have a feeling I'm gonna die. If you want to say bye to your buddies before you go, that's fine by me, but that schedule of yours is pretty hectic, so you better do it now and scram. Thank your companions for help, say your goodbyes. Give a polite nod, it's just business. Thank them. You thank both of your companions for their assistance. Without them, you wouldn't be here now. Kaiser makes a gagging gesture and urges you to step out of the car. You turn around and make your way to the bar. The door closes behind you and Kaiser's limo starts moving again. You hope your companions won't have to pay too high of a price for helping you. The Solids and Stripes is pretty much abandoned tonight, with only the bartender and one bleary-eyed local watching an old Bogart movie on the bar screen. You ask to use the phone. Call Sophie first. Yes. I'm at the bar. What's the plan? I'm here. What's the plan? We're on our way. Notify Torque if he's not there. We need to talk as soon as possible and move quickly. She hangs up. You tell the bartender to notify Torque, just like the Anarch leader mentioned you should. The man makes a short call. You only hear somebody pick up, but no words exchanged. The owner's on its way right now. Can I get you anything while you're waiting? Do you serve the special stuff? Actually, do you serve the, special stuff? The bartender raises an eyebrow. The special reserve, you mean? Sorry, I can only serve that to narrow his selection of the owner's friends. It's been a rough night, give me a break. I am one of his friends. Come on, I won't tell him. It's been a rough night, man. Listen, it's been a rough night. Give me a break, please, just a sip. I don't know, I really shouldn't. Oh, what the hell, you really do look like you need it. He takes out a bottle from a safe behind the counter and pours a bit of brown liquid into a glass. It's whiskey. There, enjoy. Your disappointment is palpable. At least the smell is nice. Turk comes in some 10 minutes later without Mia. He tips his hat to you, puts a hand on the bleary-eyed patron's shoulder, and says something to him under his breath. They both laugh. Marty, how's the night going? Quiet, sir. Just how you like it, huh? Torque notices the untouched glass with a bit of whiskey in it that you persuaded the bartender to pour. For me, you shouldn't have. He takes the glass and drinks the liquid, moving it around his mouth before swallowing. He looks you in the eye. Sure, I won't keep it in forever, but the night when I don't enjoy the taste of good whiskey is the night when I will truly consider myself damned. Well, Porcelain, I believe you wanted me here for a reason. Let's hear it. You're about to tell him what brought you here when the doors to the bar open, and Sophie walks in, all splendor and charisma. The patron's eyes are now glued to her, and so are the bartenders. Torque isn't happy with the sight. Well, this isn't what we agreed on, Porcelain. Care to explain? Torque meet Sophie, Sophie meet Torque. We had to improvise. Sophie meet Torque. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I believe Porcelain already told you why I'm here. Not in any detail, and the circumstances of our meeting were supposed to be different. So, Miss Langley, tell me why I should ask you to leave and kick out your protege while I'm at it. You will like what I have to say. Yeah, I've heard that line 100 times, but 99 of those ended with somebody getting hurt, and that's not something I'm in the mood for tonight. We are wasting time. There is a unique opportunity we should take advantage of, and we only have an hour or so to discuss it before it will be time to act. My driver is waiting outside. Wait a goddamn minute. First of all, I'm not going anywhere without Mia. That was the deal. Second, it's Porcelain who is supposed to do the driving, not your servant. I remember now what's happening. Okay, cool. Both serve me, so really it's of little difference. The circumstances changed, and we had to adapt. Don't be stubborn. Foolishness does not suit you. I have a secure spot in mind where we can talk. I'll stop you right there. Torque's seething, but he's keeping a lid on his anger. His voice barely changes. My conditions were clear. The way I hear it, you want to break each of them. I see no reason at all to agree to any of this. I believe I will be staying put tonight. You have places to be, yes? Torque, you're throwing away the only chance you have at challenging Callahan. Don't be a fool. The lid comes off. Call me a fool one more time, woman, and that's not the only thing I'm going to be throwing. Fuck. Sophie twerks, wait, you're both acting like children. You need to put your differences aside and see the other's point of view. Both Sophie and Torque glare at you. No powers, just their personas are enough to make you feel like you'd prefer to be anywhere else but here. Who the fuck do you think you are? There's only one child here, Porcelain. You're their patron, Langley. What does that tell us? What are you implying, you insolent? Shots break the front windows and a flashbang goes off in the room, changing the bar into a space of white light and ringing noise. You feel somebody tugging at your back and are thrown behind the bar. More shots ring out, bottles break, the TV shatters into pieces, the wooden bar splinters. Your sight comes back, but you think you've gone deaf because suddenly the room is silent. You see Torque beside you and Marty, the bartender, bleeding out on the floor. You look over the bar. Sophie is standing there, her dress partially tattered, a visible hole in her leg. She is like the heart of a supernova, entrancing, unavoidable, beautiful, and terrifying. In front of her, 8 operatives, looking like a private military force, just standing there, paralyzed by Sophie's magnificence. Torque, you still there? Yeah. Would you kindly show your guests some hospitality? Sure thing. The Anarch is gone in the blink of an eye, and he reappears next to each of the soldiers. The armor-clad operative's head disappears in a puff of blood and bone. The same thing happens to the second, the third. You hear the radios go off on the other soldiers' shoulders, a panicked voice pleading them to wake up. The fourth head pops, the fifth. They finally realize what's happening, but it's too late. The sixth man is beheaded by what you now see is just Torque's bare-fisted punch. Torque stops by the seventh man, rips something off his neck, and bites down. Sophie walks over to the last man and has him kneel in front of her before biting as well. On your right, a man in full body armor emerges from the back door, raising his assault rifle. What the fuck? Grab his attention. Hey, over here! The man turns, and for a very scary split second, you are looking directly down the barrel of an automatic rifle. The next moment, an impact throws him all the way into the back room, and he crashes into the wall. Torque grins at you, standing in the exact same spot where the soldier was just a second before. You comfy down there? Langley? Sophie wipes her mouth of blood and looks at him. The meeting's still an item? Yes. I'll take it. Splendid. Torque walks behind the bar and checks on the bartender. You see the Anarch open his own wrist and feed blood to the wounded man. Drink up, Marty. It'll make you feel better. Get the hell out of here and wait for Mia. She's coming and she'll know what to do. Torque? Yeah, coming. Take the back door. Porcelain, come on. You slink back into the alley behind the bar, leaving 10 bodies and one grievously wounded ghoul behind. Nobody stops you from circling around the block and finding your way to Sophie's car. Gregory drives away casually, as if this was just another late-night drive, and not the crowning of a desperate, complicated evening. The sense of irony is just overwhelming. The place where Sophie brought Torque turns out to be the very same apartment in which you were embraced. The way she explains it, the vampire who owned it left the city a few years ago and gave away spare keys to a few trusted compatriots. It's been used sporadically since. Fancy. You like it? I always felt too modern for my taste, but what's important is that it's secure. As long as nobody followed your car here, or the fledgling. Trouble follows this one wherever they go. Even if that's the case, we have very little time to conduct our business here anyway, and we'll be leaving soon, I hope. So, let's begin. Finally, this better be worth a try. Well, we're just gonna stay silent. You look at Sophie, excited. Finally, you will learn what it is that you've been working toward for more than a week, and what it is that Kaiser wanted you to participate in. I have it on good authority that the boss Callahan is bloodbound to Prince Panhard. Torque sucks air in loudly. That's an accusation and a half there, Langley. Got proof? No, but we're just about right away from getting it. What is that supposed to mean? Porcelain, the address that I procured from Kaiser was the meeting spot of Panhard's and the Baron's regular sharing of blood. The other bodily fluids, if the rumors are true. Wait, Kaiser knew about this? Is there anything that insufferable clump of dead skin doesn't know about or doesn't know in the city? He knows things, but only shares them if you pay. Neither the prince nor Callahan can touch him. He's too useful. So Kaiser knows you wanted the address. Aren't you afraid Kaiser will betray you? Kaiser said saving me was in his interest. Kaiser said something about having a plan for me, that he wanted me to make this meeting happen. That can't be good, right? That is an interesting point. I think Kaiser might be as interested in shaking up the status quo as we are. A chaotic landscape makes for a great market for him, unlike a static one. I don't like playing into that creep's hands, but at least now I know now I know that I'm doing it. The devil you know and all that. What was the address he gave you? They meet regularly on Ellis Island. In fact, their next scheduled meeting starts in just around half an hour. Hot damn, I'm guessing you want to crash that meeting. Why? So you can see the proof for yourself, so that I can make sure too, and so that I have an extra pair of eyes for Panhard to consider when I present her my ultimatum. The prince must abandon her seat and leave New York City. She can go wherever she pleases, but if she stays, the entire court will know, and the next prince might not look favorably on her past. Dealing with anarchs, especially so closely, is a punishable offense in the Camarilla, so I'm sure you've heard. So I did. Turk strokes his beard and looks intently at Sophie. What exactly are you trying to accomplish here? Say you remove Panhard, and I even remove Callahan. Then what? Torque, did you ever wonder why Callahan is keeping you in check? Because I wondered why the prince condemns anarchs during her visits to Elysium, but doesn't allow the Ivory Tower to challenge you. She, or they, have engineered the status quo, not for the good of their sex, but for private gain. They keep us all in line because it lets them hold on to power that much longer. And your goal is what? Make this Cold War turn hot? Not a great plan. You cammies will get your butts kicked out of NYC in no time. If you anarchs manage to organize, which I doubt you will, at any rate, it's a risk I am willing to take. I don't stand alone in this. This entire operation has been years in the making. Torque, I am offering you a chance to square things with Callahan and level the playing field. If we get rid of these two, we can start on equal footing at the next stage of this dance macabre. Why am I here listening to this? How do I factor? Aren't you copying the same stats? What? How do I factor here? Do I factor into this plan at all? I have a feeling we're gonna die. Yes, we will be taking you with us to Ellis Island, both as another set of eyes to witness the Prince and Baron in the act, and as a bit of added security. I don't think Helene or Callahan would dare to lay a finger on me, but they will not find me unprepared. You know, after all these years spent in Callahan's shadow and taking part in all the kindred dick measuring contests, I should expect a ruse, some play to kill me in an out-of-the-way place. That's our inherent paranoia talking. My gut tells me it's time to get the show started. I do hope you have a boat nearby, Langley. Sophie smiles mischievously. Of course I do. It's waiting for us by the pier. Lead the way then. Moonlight's burning. The three of you leave the apartment and walk toward the pier. Nobody seems to be following you. Excuse me. You get on a small patrol boat and double time it through the Hudson's cold, dark waters. Now, of all the places in NYC where the Prince and the Baron can meet, it's Ellis Island, a landmark with a dark past, a museum on one hand, a dilapidated piece of history on the other. You leave the boat and make your way to the southern part of the island, paying no heed to the renovated tourist attractions on the northern side. You expected some resistance, a night guard, a helicopter flying overhead, or maybe an NYPD patrol boat. Nothing. The island seems completely deserted. It's clear this sets Sophie on edge. She's moving as quietly and subtly as ever, but you can see that she's eager to reach the particular house her intel pointed out. Torque is following suit, grimly determined, flashing his piercing gaze all over, still clearly uncertain that this isn't some kind of con. Finally you see it, light coming from a window in one of the buildings at the edge of the island. The three of you slowly creep closer to the building and take a look inside the window. There it is, Callahan kneeling in front of the press, sucking on Panhard's wrist, both fully clothed, a small blessing. Torque makes his move, and before Sophie can stop him, he busts through the building's doors. It all happens very quickly. Torque grabs Callahan by the shoulders and throws him through the still open door. Callahan hits the ground hard. Torque appears on top of him and starts punching. You fucker, you piece of shit! Stop! The prince's voice takes hold for just long enough to make Torque relent, which the Baron uses to the fullest. He shoves Torque off of himself and tries to bite down. Prince, call off your lapdog. Langley, what is the meaning of this? The two anarchs break apart, both wounded, but neither is quite done yet. They look at one another with pure hatred. Kill the bitch, Helen, but leave the fledgling to me. Right after I deal with this shit stain, I'm gonna... A shrill, unpleasant laugh fills the air. You know who it belongs to. I don't... Oh, it's this guy! Okay. So entertaining, truly. It feels almost a shame to break up the spectacle, but alas. Thomas? Who the fuck is this joker? Yes, I don't think we met, though I did hear a lot about you, Mr. Torque. My name is Thomas Arturo, and I... Callahan uses this moment of uncertainty to strike. He's still too slow for Torque, who throws the boss onto the lawn where the two exchange blows once again. Ahem. Helene, if you'd be so kind as to ask your friend not to hurt our guests too much. Callahan, don't kill him. This time Callahan comes out on top and grabs Torque in an iron hold. Your companion struggles but can't quite break away. I will not be denied, Helene, not this time. You will do as I command. And she will do as I command her, Douglas, old boy. What? Like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. I feel like I need to break up this little spectacle. It's been going on for much too long. You think you're so smart, Langley, you and your clique. Figured out that there was something fishy going on all on your own, but you were always working with just a piece of the puzzle. Wasn't she, Porcelain? Sophie looks to you, shocked and disappointed. I don't know what he's talking about, dude. I don't know what I'm talking about? Of course you don't. Of course. How could you? Only I knew. And your sire. They're the one who agreed to embrace you after some negotiations. You hear a scream and a curse. It's Callahan, whose arms have been nearly ripped off his body. Torque breaks out of the Baron's grasp, but doesn't continue the attack. Instead, he's at the edge of the water in the blink of an eye and disappears into the Hudson. The only trace left of him is his fedora. Another actor gone off script at the very end, eh? No matter. Let him bring us some amusement now that the production's almost wrapped up. He'll reach his allies. He'll tell everyone of this. Helene, even if we naively assume his nights aren't numbered now that he's in the SI sights, the show must go on one way or another. Won't hurt to encourage leaks and speculation. Sophie looks at you. How could you, Porcelain? I saved you. I don't know what's happening here. A churro suddenly appears next to her and slaps her in the face. Langley. What happened to your self-esteem? You can't really think a simple neonate has outplayed you. Or maybe this oblivious act is your way of groveling for mercy. Thomas, what? You thought that being an expert chess player would always be enough. You never realized the people at the top simply flip the chessboard over and punch you in the face whenever they don't like how the game is going. He motions to the remaining kindred. But the thing is, you weren't even adept at playing the game you knew. Porcelain? Just another pawn placed on the board by my associate. You thought they were your piece since you took them in, but who gave you that idea? You returned to the night where you were judged by Prince Panhard, the woman in red, Sophie, somebody speaking to her, a man in glasses, the man standing before you now. This is cruel. We know what's going to happen. If only somebody would speak up for the poor child, they could be a useful tool for the Camarilla. Terror creeps onto Sophie's face. Of course, those are not the words you heard, were they? No, you were already grasping for some opportunity to further your scheme. I put the bait out and you took it, hook, line, and sinker. After that, it was only a matter of time before you started using Porcelain as your errand boy. No one is quite as easy to track and monitor as a naive fledgling who's just learning the ropes. What is it that you want, Thomas? What do I want? Oh boy, the answer is so simple, but so hard to put into words. Unstable stability, cutting-edge tales of thrills and intrigue that push it to the limit, and then return you to the tired and tested status quo, gently, infallibly. A system full of distractingly moving parts which simulate conflict so convincingly that its users never feel a need to direct their energy towards upsetting the system. Achieving the eternal through the disposable, building a city that's like a ship of Theseus, constantly changing its parts, yet always maintaining the same purpose, serving the same goal at all times. A large-scale infrastructure that is something like an exhaust system for the spirit, something that disperses the toxicity around instead of concentrating it in a single place. None of what you're saying makes the slightest bit of sense. Arturo is momentarily stopped in his tracks. He stares into the sky for a few seconds before a sad grin appears on his face. Spoken like someone who's never really had what it takes to make it in the big leagues. With a theatrical snap of fingers, he gives his last sentence a sense of finality. Something's changed in the air. A woman's shape slinks behind Sophie's back. Goodbye, Sophie. Oh, shit! A person appears behind Sophie. You can't believe your eyes. It's Adelaide Davis, holding garden shears in her hands. Warren, Sophie apologized. Push Sophie out of the way! You take off and rush towards Sophie. You only take a few steps before a figure blinks right next to you and pushes you away. Arturo. Oh, see ya, Sophie. You hear the sheer snip. Sophie's red hair conceals her face as her head falls, separated from her shoulders. Silence. Arturo's unpleasant laughter erupts next to you. Oh, Porcelain, your career is moving at a breakneck pace, moving up and up and up. Let me congratulate you on your promotion. You killed her. What do you want from me? Are you going... You killed her, dude. Did I? Adelaide, jealous as ever, has taken a stab at the heart of the matter. My hands, my tongue, and my conscience are clean. Helene, feel free to leave us and take the Baron with you. Thomas, I don't think you should. Shush, you're just being jealous. Adelaide, escort the prince and dear old Douglas, please. Sure thing, darling. You are left alone next to Sophie's body. You try not to look, but it's hard to ignore her lithe frame decomposing in front of your eyes. Congratulations, you won this little game. You set out a suicide mission and successfully brought down the power-hungry wannabe tyrant, even if it probably wasn't the way you imagined it. Now you're free to enjoy paradise again, life after death, immortality, eternal youth. What they don't tell you is, of course, living in paradise is inherently sinful when not everyone can partake, but you have time to learn how to live with sin, don't you? He takes a melancholic look at the city skyline surrounding him, the Statue of Liberty and the lights of Manhattan shimmering in the distance. You know, New York taught me to believe in fate. My unlife began right here, and it began with utter despair. My first instinct was to drown myself in books and keep reading and reading until literature gave me the piece of wisdom I needed to go on. Personally, I find reading a silly hobby in retrospect. I always had this minuscule hope that the next sentence I'd read could finally bring me salvation, but it never did. It only gave me fuel for this elevated, righteous, intellectual suffering. But the more I read, the easier it was for me to boil every paragraph down to a power relationship. The characters' influence over each other, the writer trying to impress the reader, etc. The strings everyone pulls started to look like strands that weave into the fabric of fate, and once I saw its beauty, I got teary-eyed. My architect instincts kicked into overdrive. I didn't have to submit to fate. All I had to do was cooperate with it and wait for my time to shine, give it my input wherever needed until it trusted me to do more. Thomas steps over what's left to Sophie, wiping his glasses with an elegant cloth from his pocket. And it did. Fate let me take... Jesus, I can't read. Fate let me look after the city. With my architect's tools, I started quietly shaping the streets and corridors, while Kaiser and his ilk shaped the information flow. And among many tools this process gave me, one of them was a way to reliably come up with useful agents like you. The methods I used were crude at times, but the route was there. All you had to do was follow it. Some people write rulebook passages, the others plan city arteries. In the end, the effect is the same. Someone always follows. He puts on the glasses and gives you a long, hard look. You know, I have grown fond of you. You did so well. Even when that idiot Callahan tipped the Inquisition off, you still got out. I like that kind of resourcefulness. I could use that kind of resourcefulness. He uncovers his wrist. So, take my blood, just enough so we can start off on the right foot, as a sign of good faith, a sign that you're ready to play in the big leagues, ready to behold the sights I've prepared for you. What do you say, Porcelain? Oh! Damned if you do, trophy or enrage against your fate and complete the game with any character. So I guess that's it! Okay. That, ended abruptly. And with a turn. Okay. I don't really understand what happened there. But alright. Huh. I have a feeling that one scene that the game glitched out on and we missed really had probably a lot of context for like the last bit here that we just didn't get. Huh. Okay. So, I don't fully understand what just, happened there, but alright. Cool. Weird. Weird. Huh. Huh. Is that actually it? There's a little loading thing, so I don't know. Oh, yeah, I guess it is. Holy shit. Oh, and it just deletes your save. I guess. Great. Cool. So that's that. Huh. Well, I guess that was that game. What was that ending? What? I have a feeling missing that one fucking scene really fucked up with the game and what was going on. Huh. Well, I guess if you want to see what game we play next, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click the notification icon, whatever, to see whenever I go live. Give the video a like if you liked it, and donate to Extra Life if you can. Huh. So, thanks for watching. Love you as always, and I'll see you, I guess, in the next game. Bye!